Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the Deviantart 100 exhibition. This is alrav from Quebec, Canada, the author and creator of Alcatraz the Protector / Alcatraz le Protector. And before I was a comic book creator myself, I made the Deviantart artwork back in 2015. And I now showing a bunch of drawings I've archived from back then. The first part contains a bunch of drawings from comic-based characters and such. So this time, here is the sequel. So here I've been experimenting with the color on some of my sketches, which is why I took a different approach. This is supposed to be based on the Worms series of video game available on PC and other platforms. This is based on Roadrunner. I believe that's the name for it. I'm not sure, but it's a classic cartoon from Warner Brothers. Now here I've got a color drawing of Mega Man, loosely based on the second game. Again with the colored art style this time. Here is a face of a devil, again to show some coloring from back then in 2015. Now here is a sketch of Superman with partial coloring done to it and a Worms-esque redesign of it below. And now for the next drawing here, I've got another Worms-based drawing, but this time with a crisis theme based on the old video game from 2007. More sketches material here. I'll show some briefly. There is a Spider-Man drawing here. A little more doodling of Kirby dual characters that I've put in that page. Video game manuals were a good reference at this stage for some of these old drawings. So here's a bunch of sketches from Sonic the Hedgehog from Sega. Except that this time it is drawn more like the classic style as opposed to the Marvel-esque redesign that I had made and showed in the previous video. So here is a drawing of a Silver Surfer surfing on his board from Marvel Comics. Another one on the rear. This one is an improvement over the first one, but it shows at different angles and there's more stuff in the background. Now here I've got a drawing of Captain America and the Koopy Carquette theme as seen in the classic Avengers comics, but all the other members are drawn in a super deformed style. So there's Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. All these characters, again, they're from Marvel Comics. So here's a Worms-esque drawing in color again, but this time with a Zelda theme to it, with a bunch of different Link. I think it's based on the Force Word game of sorts for the Game Boy Advance. So now here I've got a drawing of Iron Man, here in a pseudo comic book style drawing of sort, with some close-ups there. So again from Marvel Comics. A super deformed drawing of Hulk being angry over a gold Mario amiibo of sort. Yeah, I do remember back then they were frenzy to get amiibos because of the weird business decision of it. But that's another story for another time. So here is now a proper drawing of Hulk from Marvel Comics. This time I get to experiment a little bit with bird's eye view with this particular drawing. So that's one of my earliest attempts at it back in 2015. And this is a drawing of Thor from Marvel Comics spinning the hammer. So it was a bit of a test for the stroboscopic effect that you see a lot in manga and stuff, but you also see in comics and franco-belgian album in a more reduced capacity. So here's another drawing of Thor, this time swinging his hammer coming from above. So this time with worm's eye view, one of my earliest attempts at doing it. So here's a drawing of a plant, an attempt at still life drawing of sort. Now here I've got another worm-esque drawing, but this time it has a bit of a theme of ninjas in it, and some little human characters beside that. So again, another one, practice material, a few more sketches, close-up for Hulk, Iron Man and Spider-Man. So again, I was practicing drawing the human head and the end as well. Now, I believe these are more sketches of Kirby characters drawn as reference from a manual based on those video games of sort. Now here I've got a weird crossover, Carnage from Marvel Comics going up against a villager from Animal Crossing, that's from Nintendo. Yeah, there were some memes about this particular character when he was introduced into one of the latest Super Smash Bros. Games, so that's probably why there's the inspiration behind this particular crossover of sort. So now here's a Pit from Kid Icarus with close-up from Palatina and Tabac, drawn in classic Marvel style drawing. So another one of these redesigns of sort I had made from back then in 2015. So this is a simple color drawing of Kirby and select characters. Again, the classic coloring style that I attempted back then, that I no longer do, but that's it. There's this time the same approach, but with Yoshi Island of sort. So yeah, I did play some old Nintendo games when I was a kid. I think that's probably why I attempted the classic wood color style of drawing it as an experiment. So here's another crossover. This time it's Superman from DC Comics going out against Senator Armstrong as he appeared in Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. I think that's the game. I played that back then on the PS3. Again, another crossover of sort. So here's two drawings of Spider-Man in action. Again from Marvel Comics. I get to show two different poses in one. Some close-up tests I had made for my Marvel style redesign of Pit from back then, from Kid Icarus. This is Dr. Doom thinking about a rabbit of sort, from Marvel Comics. Another Marvel style redesign, this time for Donkey Kong from Nintendo. So again, another attempt, experiment of sort. So this is a drawing here of the ultimate version of Green Goblin going out against an unmasked Spider-Man, again from Marvel Comics. A close-up of Captain America from Marvel Comics again, and a super deformed sketch drawing of Wolverine. A bit of a joke for a comic strip of sort that never came out. And another one of this type of drawing, but this time with Galactus from Marvel Comics again. And a close-up of Black Cat from Marvel Comics again. The video is about to close in, so stay tuned for part 3 where I'll get to show more drawing for the Deviantart exhibition. See you then.